Good day and welcome back to another week of Talking Technical. And as always, thank you for all the requests. But I must say that when we post a tweet or ask for some requests, please send it through immediately as soon as possible. Because sometimes we do the show and then just after the show we realize, oh, there's another 5, 6 requests that we wanted to handle, but unfortunately they came out a little bit late. And that is the problem. So please, if you've got a request, don't hesitate. Send it through. You can either use Twitter or you can send us to the request to Frans at fransdeklerk.com and even to Christel at admin@fransdeklerk.com. But let's kick off with the DXY. That's the dollar index, and everybody is worrying about this dollar index because they say it's just going up and up and up and there's just no pullback. And what's interesting, this chart is showing us something else. I want to draw this line in. There was a beautiful descending channel developing in this chart for quite a while. But what happened recently, suddenly the chart decided to go and break above this resistance line, and it went through right to the top to almost 104.5. Now, what we usually see, if you've got this, it's either a false breakout or it's an extension of the trend to the upside. But for me, it's quite simple. It looks like it wants to turn around. I think it's not going to take long before we move below 103.51 unless we bounce off here and then we go higher. But for me, if I look at this chart and if I use the normal stochastic, and you guys know that I'm keen on using just the stochastic because it's a little bit of a slower indicator. I know the RSI and all those other indicators are a little bit faster. But for me, I like the stochastic. It puts me in sometimes a little bit earlier or a little bit later, but at least I know that the indicator works well for my temperament, because that's an important thing also to mention. Always choose an indicator that suits your temperament and your emotion. Now, if you look at this descending channel here and look at the stochastic, there's a classic divergence here, and that tells me that it's not going to take long for the DXY to move back into this band. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe some guys will say, Frans, but you must use that line. Doesn't matter. If that's the case, right at the top, divergence. And for me, the first sign of weakness in the dollar index will be below this little line, and that is 103.74. And I think if that starts to turn into a resistance, we can maybe get surprised and see that the rand can even strengthen a little bit more. So watch out. The dollar index is usually a good chart to tell you what's going to happen in the rand. So you can just follow that and it will give you good guidance. Well, let's have a look at KAP. Somebody asked about KAP, and he wanted to know if he can buy it, and let's have a look here. Well, KAP is working on a beautiful consolidation, and just see how it works on this 50-day moving average. It's almost like it is stuck between and above this 50-day moving average. And for me, it's quite simple. If that's the case, then I say to myself, let's see if this 50-day moving average, and that is sitting at 264, can change into a support, and then maybe we can see a nice move to the upside. But look at my stochastic. The stochastic is nice and low, and I think it's not going to take a long time before this stochastic eventually will give us a little bit of a bounce. Because why? Look at this. Previous time when the stochastic was nice and low, it gave us a beautiful bounce to the top. Even there, it gave us a few cents there. There, it also gave a few there, and I think it's not going to take long. Then this one will kick in here. So let's see if you want to preempt it. Let's use that. And immediately I see that I'm going to get a falling wedge here. Let's just do that. There you are. Oh, yes, beautiful falling wedge. And the falling wedge is usually a reversal pattern, not for medium to long term, because we use a daily chart here. But for me, if I look at this above R2.53, KAP will give me the first sign of strength. But I would like to see it above R2.55. I mean, that's 2 cents higher, but then you've got a confirmation. Because can you guys see? I just want to show you here, and you will see it immediately. Look at this ugly bearish engulfing candle. that was there. And that bearish engulfing candle developed because there was a lot of sellers that was keen selling the share. Now, if we can get above that, and that is 255, we can maybe see a nice move to the top. But of course, we know now that the first sign of strength will be above, excuse me, above this resistance line 253. So you can either buy at 253, make use of a stop loss of 248, or you can wait for that confirmation above 255, use the stop loss of 248, and then maybe, but maybe we can maybe reach for this 50-day moving average at 263, and we know above 263 the chart will look beautiful, and maybe we can see a beautiful bounce from there. But for me, if you've got a consolidation around this 50-day moving average, let's see, that's for the medium term investors. If we can break above 263, we know that the momentum wants to turn to the upside, and we can maybe see some more momentum going and growing from there. Let's have a look at TLT. Now this is a chart that is listed on the NASDAQ. That's the 20-year Treasury bond. And this tells you what the world, the clever guys, are thinking about interest rates. I just want to make it a weekly chart because I would like to show you something here, and there's quite important info hanging around this chart. There, of course, is the stochastic. It is nice and low, and remember, this chart tells you what the informed capital think what's going to happen with interest rates. When this chart comes down, it's usually a sign that interest rates in America are going up. But when the chart wants to go up, it tells you that the interest rates may be going to go slower or even get hold on certain levels and maybe gets dropped a little bit, so gets lower. So if you want to make a decision on interest rates, you will definitely look at this chart. And what do we see here? We see, and this is a weekly chart, we see a double bottom here. But the double bottom is usually a reversal formation, quite a strong formation. And if that signals some interest rates, almost you can say constant interest rate or hold, then you can just see if this double bottom starts to go up, you can easily see that interest rates in America can even get lower. And what will happen in South Africa? Then we will also see some interest rates coming down. So my big crucial level is this level, and that is 95.93. Above 95.93 on a weekly close. Remember, this is a weekly chart. Above 95.93, we will see the first sign that interest rates in America can maybe be held on certain levels where it is now, or even gets lower. But if you look at this, there is the big one, and that is the 40-week moving average, and that sits at 101. Only above 101, the medium term and long term investors will know that interest rates will maybe get lower in America. But where is this double bottom only coming into play? Can you believe it? This double bottom will only come into play above 109.68. So above 109.68, we can see this double bottom come into play. And where is my target? My target is quite higher up. If you look at it, if I do that extension, let's do it from the bottom there. And we're just going to extend it a little bit higher. Now, if that's the case, if this double bottom comes into play, it's going to take a little bit of time to get to this level. This level is 109.88. If it breaks above 109.88, we've got this double bottom confirmed. And then we can see this one going up to 127.17. And that will definitely signal quite a few drops in the interest rate in America. By the way, you can buy the TLT on an international platform if you've got that. And that is to protect you for lower interest rates to come. So this chart, if you buy it around these levels and it ticks higher, you tell yourself, listen, interest rates are going to get lower in future and not higher. Well, thank you for watching the show. Visit our website, www.fransdeklerk.com, for more info, and we will chat again.